Okay guys, welcome back. We're in the clover field and I want to make a video. I'm trying to catch the bumblebee there. See the bumblebee? And you can hear them working around me, and the moths. Oh, there's a couple bees working. Our little friends helping us on the clover. There goes a monarch butterfly. Monarch butterflies love red clover. So I'm going to go over into the shade here, and we'll talk a little bit. Okay guys, the heat has come back. This is the clover field that I showed you taking the first cutting of clover in. What I wanted to talk to you about today, we're here at the start of July. What day is it? Survey says July 9th, and I'm coming back and taking the hay. There goes a cardinal. That's a good luck omen. Anyway, we're here. It's the 1st of July. So what happened in this field? You know, I showed you making the first cutting for hay. What has happened in the field, it was dry. It was brutal dry. It waited about another week, and then the 1st of June, actually that first day of June, we had that rain, that beautiful inch 30, and then I proceeded to finish planting beans at that point in time. But we had a week of brutal temperatures at the end of May there, and the clover had no punch in it. The clover had just run out of gas making that first crop. And so the net effect on the bottom field here, what happened is that the foxtail, we've got red pigweed, you know, so for the first week there was no punch in the clover. And then when the rain did come, it took the clover a while, you know, to get out of drought survival mode. But the annual weeds, they're always ready to, you know, harvest moisture when it comes. And so we got a big flush of foxtail, we got red pigweed, got some water hemp, but we got a nice flush of weeds. It was about half weeds and half red clover. And so I'm coming back, and this cutting, you know, normally this would be the seed cutting, but the field is just too weedy. There's the monarch flying around out there. I can see him. There's another monarch coming to play with him. So I've left this last little strip, and I waited for Deborah to get home with the camera, but there's another monarch. Boy, they're showing up now. That's the last clover. So what's happening in the river valley here, we're going to hay this cutting. There's just too many weeds in it. It would be too much to combine. And on the hills, the clover is short, so we will try and take clover seed on the hills. But this is going to help us. I'm going to label this video drought discussion. So since the last videos, we have gotten several rains. We got the one at the end of June, and then right at the 1st of July we had another 1.30 inch. I've showed you my cover crop after that wheat. The Sudan is coming, and the cowpeas are coming, and so we will have grazing, you know, or hay or silage, whatever. But what I'm going to do with this field, how I'm going to recoup, it's going into corn next year. That's what the rotation will come to. So I will spread some manure on it this fall. What I'm going to do with it right now is I'm going to pull the cows off of the grass pastures. The grass pastures, there was not a whole heck of a lot to begin here, and I've already grazed my native grass pasture. My native grass pasture, I interseeded alfalfa and red clover into it, and you know, we had just enough moisture here that there was some growth in the native, not very much. I don't know, 6-12 inches of grass growth on it. But the alfalfa and the red clover came, and the cows have been grazing that. But the cool season pastures, you know, they're gone. There's not a whole lot. They never got a start this year, and so they're going to finish up lame because they started out very lame and poor. And so what I'm going to do for this month of July, and probably the first week or two of August, I'm going to pull the cows off and I'm going to put them on this field. We've got the river, the rough breaks down there where they can go get lots of shade. They will be able to come back to the house to the farm site to get water. But the cow herds will have a lot of shade, and they will quit destroying the pastures. There's the big boys, the fattening calves across the creek there. Big boys are going to have to go to a different pasture, and the mother cows can come here, and I will feed them low-grade hay, and they'll have shade in this heat, and they'll have we have a real good well at the home place, and so we can have a real small tank. You have a 100-gallon tank to water 60 head of cows, and so they drink it continually, and it keeps fresh water in it all the time. So the cows have cool water and hopefully some shade, and we'll feed them some low-quality hay, and then they can come down into the breaks and pick the rough breaks. So weatherman says that we're going to have 7 days now of brutal, you know, mid-90 to 100-degree temperatures, and there's just no reserves in the soil. So things are probably, the neighbor's cornfield across the way there looks pretty good. But we're at Monday. I bet by Friday, after 7 days of this heat with no subsoil moisture, it's going to be a different picture. So we'll see what our cowpeas and our Sudan do for us. I just love the biological diversity down in the bottom here. There's just, now that now that I'm at the end of the film and you guys are tired of listening to me talk, I can see a bunch of monarchs out there flying around. The one thing positive that I wanted to mention on the clover in the bottom here is that, you know, I started out the film with that bumblebee. So bumblebees have figured out how to adapt. You know, we went a number of years without seeing bumblebees in our clover fields, and I don't know if that was the neonicotinoids or some of the pesticide, whatever, you know, that the neighbors are using. But we are seeing the bumblebee populations recover in the fields, and very thankful for that. That sure helps with red clover seed production. Bumblebees are wonderful pollinators. So we'll have some beautiful hay here, and the foxtail in the clover, that doesn't bother me. The cows actually will like this clover hay better than the pure stand that we cut the first of the year. So dealing with drought and thinking about feeding my cows, guys. Thanks.